when used for the benefit of the common man. When he was saying that, he was talking about Rauf Aregbesola. And if there's one asset among the nominees who can look at the Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because no man is perfect, and peradventure Mr. President makes any mistake in any decision, this man will tell him, just like I would do.
Only two of you.
He was a colleague, one that loves this country and prays for this country. The coming of Rauf into the Executive Council is indeed a blessing. As a colleague, we never agreed on many issues. We didn't agree on many issues as a colleague, but principles brought us together. I remember vividly, as their chairman, himself, Oshimole.
Yes?
Please.
You are protected. You have the protection of the chair.
Himself, the governor of Kaduna, Erufai, Oshimole, that all of you know about. And most of the governors, he particularly talks nothing but about the unity of this country and how we can all move Nigeria forward. So my friend and my brother and my colleague, there's a laid-down rule here that in this whole country, Nigeria, only senators and women should be allowed to take a bow and go. I've accepted that. And the matter became worse even when they are limited to leader and deputy leader speaking on my behalf against my wish. Be that as may, I want to plead with my colleagues
As the former governor,
that though this man is not a senator, but he has made senators, may you please, and he's very gender sensitive.
yeah.
And Aisha can bear me witness. For that reason, please can we honors be given to whom honor is due? Take a bow.
Take a bow.
I so submit.
Is that you don't exceed 2 questions, and that their question has to be direct. Your Excellency, former governor, and now minister-to-be, I congratulate you for this feat. But it will look somehow if a person of your caliber and magnitude will come here and just take a bow and go. Because we want to draw from your experience and inspiration. Therefore, I'll just ask one. I reduce it to one simple question which you can answer. And that is the issue of taxation. Today, there are multiple taxation everywhere across the 3 tiers of government. Ministries, parastatals, imposing taxes on one issue. And this does not make for ease of business. I want to encourage business in Nigeria. Excellency, going into the Executive Council, what will be your attitude towards this so that businessmen will be encouraged to invest and we will grow? Thank you very much.
Presenter. Your Excellency, issue of salaries. During your explanation, you have said you have been paying salary in front. But from the papers, many mails, papers We read that you cannot be able to pay salary for the last 1 year before your departure. Even though you explained, but you didn't explain in detail. Please, can you say more about salary, issue of salary in Osun State before you leave? Thank you.
Bo, representing the people of Adamawa North Central District. I want to join my colleague from Osun and from the entire Southwest to extol the virtues of this great Nigerian. I remember in 2012, when I contested for the chairmanship of my local government as a very tiny young man. I visited you in Abuja, in Ikeja, Jere Ikeja in your house. You never knew me. You asked me to come in, and I stated my problems, and you told me to come to government house in Osogbo and meet you. When I got there, I thought I would stay there for 3 days without seeing the governor. I filled a form, you saw my name, and you ushered me into your office upstairs. And you gave me the whole of your salary for that month to go to Adamawa and contest election. Today, through the grace of God, I am one of the people confirming your nomination. I want to join my colleagues to please allow this detribalized, honest Nigerian to take a bow and go. And also ask of Mr. President of Nigeria using this medium to give you a very big ministry. God bless you, sir.
My leader, the truth is Nigeria is a federation, and I'm a federalist. You see, there is a limit to what we can do on taxation in the federation. Let's be clear on that. However, I understand where you're coming from, and I agree with you, but I will differ slightly. I wouldn't have loved to go into this because it's going to be controversial. We have left the rich men in Nigeria without discharging their responsibilities to the citizens, particularly on taxation. So I'm going to pioneer privileged taxes for those who have huge resources or wealth from which Nigerians must tap. If I go into this, there might be some ill feelings in some quarters. I won't go deeper than that. I will recommend serious taxation for wealthy people in Nigeria. If that will now translate into lifting the burden on the states and the local government to reduce their penchant for taxes that make poor people still give out of their inadequate resource, of course, I will have been satisfied. So I will advocate a just taxation system that will breed inequality in our polity. Salary in Osun, I want to repeat again, clearly, that the narrative on salary in Osun is either mischievous or based on ignorance. Nobody can pretend that the Nigerian economy did not suffer a huge downfall from 2014 up until when the current administration came in with some palliatives to support the states. Of course, Osun was quite hugely affected. Why? We had invested heavily in infrastructure that was totally neglected before. And I must add quickly, probably people don't know this. Personnel cost alone on my revenue, both statutory and generated, was 63% personnel cost alone. There is a history to that. Osun was taken out of Oyo. Before that, Osun provided close to 70% of the senior civil servants in Oyo, and were all asked to move. So, Osun population is Osun civil service population is huge, but it's top heavy. Whereas levels 1 to 7 that constitute 72% of the public servants, they take less than 1 billion. While the top cat, the fat cats in level 8 and above, who are less than 30% of the civil servants, take over 2 billion. So I was therefore forced to do interesting balancing. Short of retrenching people, I had to constitute a panel under the leadership of Comrade Azan Sumonu to monitor all inflows, all revenue income, and apportion whatever is left to salaries. And that we did innovatively. How? We knew that officers on levels 1 to 7 cannot even survive on their salary if fully paid. So we pay them their full salary, not only officers, even pensioners. Pay them their full salary. I never owed anybody on levels 1 to 7 a dime of their salaries. Officers on levels 8 to 10 had 75% of their salary throughout my tenure. And that ended July 2018, please. We stopped any partial payment to anybody in July of 2018. Don't forget I left in November 2018, but we stopped this part payment by July. We are stabilized. It was only those officers on levels 12 and above that had to earn $50 salary between July of 2015 and July of 2018. That's about salary. On testimony, I thank you. I've forgotten, please, I'm happy that you have reminded me. I give glory to God.
Mr. Chair,
especially,
the nominee has only 5 minutes left.
Especially to be thanked is Asiwaju Tinubu, who tutored me in being large-hearted and kind to whoever comes to me for support.
Excuse me, please.
Ajibola Bashiru, I extend courtesies to distinguished senators. I must say here that it is paradox of democracy that I'm here sitting in this hallowed chamber on hearing confirmation of somebody who is my leader, my mentor, and my benefactor by the grace of Almighty God. I served under him throughout the 8 years of administration in Osun. So the story that he's telling is a story that brings pleasure to us, that with meager resources, we were able to see what we can do to alleviate, particularly the mass of our people, not the bourgeoisies. And I will say that for those that talk about salary, I stand here to say that as commissioner in second term, my take-home pay total is 184,000 naira. None of us commissioners got an official car, and I did not stay in official accommodation. I served in the first term as Honorable Commissioner for Regional Integration and Special Duties. I was also the chairman of Consultancy Board. In the second term, as Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice. One salient challenge that we have as black people is how do we harness our resources? How do we get finance to bridge infrastructure deficits? By the time we were to get government in Osun, he made it clear. He said, Bashiru, if in 2 years we could not make any impact in infrastructure development, we should apologize to Osun people and we should just leave government. And of course, the month that the government took over, we learned that 1 billion was taken in overdraft before we came in to even pay salary. And yet, we have projects that we need to do. So, told us, we don't have any choice. We have to raise money, by deficit financing to ensure that we accelerate financing of projects that will impact on the economy of our people. What did we do? We had two options: to go by way of commercial lending or to open our books to the public and go to the public sector. Money market, capital market financing, and that is the route that we took based on the parameters of the economy of Nigeria in 2011 and 2012. So when, as he has narrated, 2014 challenges came, of all the parameters changed, and then we have to adjust the way we have done. But that did not stop any of our projects. I'm happy to announce to you, and I say it proudly here, that I feel satisfied that I've worked with my leader, with my mentor, and I feel satisfied that when we are confronted about stewardship, we are happy that God has used us to assist in lifting, particularly those people who have never had opportunity of enjoying government patronage. I thank you, colleagues, for the honor to allow him to bow and go. Thank you, my leader.
Senators, I want to thank God for giving me this unique opportunity. I don't know if ever I will have the opportunity of recommending this man standing before me today, because he's my mentor, he's my role model, he's my leader. Even though we schooled together in the Polytechnic from the year 1976 to 78 before I left for University of Ife. But it is a common saying that human beings do change. But this is a man I met to be a fighter for the downtrodden masses, right from 70s, and he has not changed up to today. In 1977, we had to do our IT student industrial training. Without seeing each other, there are a lot of placements in Southwest. Only 3 of us out of the whole lot of students from the Polytechnic choose Kano without seeing ourselves. So we are 3 that went to Kano to do our IT. Incidentally, we didn't know anybody there. We have never been there. And we had to be sleeping in only one single room with a 3.5 bed. So anybody that wants to eat dinner will not sleep on that bed. You will sleep on the mat. It's an interesting thing. And where we used to trek from, is it Bonfire to Brigade? Every morning. Later, after 30 years, I was a general manager at Osun when my friend's mandate was returned to him, and he came as the governor of the state of Osun. On his coming, I was surprised the way he managed the state. In spite of the meager amount of money coming to the state, he quickly realized that international interventions could help the state. And he even went for credit to pay the counterpart fund of all the international intervention in the state of Osun. And apart from the fact that Osun State, among all other states in the Southwest, was chosen for rural access and mobility project, throughout my 35 years working with international organizations, World Bank, French Development Agency, Islamic Development Bank, and so on, I've never come across a time when the bank came up to say that a project run by a state is the best in Nigeria. By April this year, the World Bank, and I'm saying this knowing fully well that everybody in the world, in Nigeria, are hearing me, including the World Bank themselves, they came up and ranked Osun State RAM, which Ogbeni was running as the best in Nigeria. To this, I want to take the privilege of being a senator today to say that Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola should take a bow and go. Thank you very much.
Point of order, Minority Leader.